The emo rap freshman list? What is this cringe? If you pay attention to hip hop culture at all, then you do know what the Xxl Freshman list is that is released every year. This used to be like a pretty high honor in the upcoming stages of a young rapper's career, but it seems like in recent years, this has become something that is not like a great honor anymore. It's something that rappers refuse to take part in. Honestly, I don't really understand why. I guess it has something to do with internet culture now, or maybe it's because they always pick artists that I guess aren't a true representation of who's on the come up. And honestly, it doesn't even really matter for this video. But just for some context, imagine if XXL did an emo rap freshman list. What would it look like? Who would be on it? Well, that's what we're gonna cover today. Now, what we have to do is pretend like this has been going on forever. So put yourself in the mindset like it's not the first ever freshman list. So there are some people we have to rule out. I think you guys can imagine who we have to rule out. Peep, X, they're not freshmen, they're established. Trippie Redd, Juice WRLD, again, already kind of mainstream. All of GBC, which for those of you that don't know, it's Goth Boy Clique, Wicked Phase, Cold Heart, Tracy. I'm not sure if Tracy's GBC anymore. I know you guys all love them, but they're kind of too big to be freshmen. Brennan Savage, again, too big. Nothing Nowhere, too big. I know I'm forgetting a ton, but I'm just trying to prevent you guys from commenting saying, "How can Lil Peep not be on this list?" I spent a lot of time analyzing the emo rap market, social media pages, Spotify, SoundCloud, trying to figure out who could be considered a freshman, someone on the come up, someone who's probably gonna have a big year in 2019. And I came up with 9 artists that I feel like if XXL had a freshman list for emo rap, they would probably fit really well on it. Also, just want to mention that these artists are not in any particular order. This is me trying to be as non-biased as possible and simply putting artists that are, I think, on the come up and are at somewhat of an equal level. To start off the list, we have Shinigami. Shinigami has a refreshing 8-bit sound that kind of reminds us of an old video game. From what I understand, Shinigami makes all of his own beats. I'm pretty sure most of his tracks are him rapping on his own beats. His beats are ultra fun trap bangers consisting of bright and cheery melodies, complemented with heavy and hard hip-hop drums. He has that nostalgic voice that takes us back 15 years to the pop-punk days where we all fell in love with this type of music. And I would describe Shinigami's music as a lullaby that you would love to dance to or cry to depending on your mood. Whether he's singing faintly and softly onto the track or belting out his emotions onto the mic, Shinigami will continue to thrive in 2019. Next, we have Convoke. What makes Convoke so special is his inability to be stuck to one sound or one genre label. He really showed us his versatility in 2018, releasing tons of different kinds of music that blew him up essentially to where he's at today. I think some of his strengths consist of his songwriting. He really knows how to make a hit. He knows how to make a song that you want to learn all the words to and sing out loud at a live show. His deep and half raspy voice sounds really good when he's rapping monotone, singing lightly, or even belting and screaming on the track. Also, he could have the best hooks in the game right now, and honestly, I'm expecting him to write more hits in 2019. Next, we have Gucci High Waters. Gucci represents everything that emo rap is. He can make a really catchy rap song on melodic trap beats, or he could switch it up and go for the more acoustic guitar sample sound with real drums. Either way, he's a phenomenal songwriter. And Gucci writes songs that you will listen to over and over and become obsessed with until you know every single word. He makes music that sounds amazing when you're feeling down. It sounds good at a party. It sounds good when you're just hanging out with friends, by yourself, in the car. He also has this mysterious kind of hidden image where he's not really too accessible, and I think that persona creates more of a demand for his music and just a demand for him in general. But I hope in 2019 I see a little bit more of him in the public, maybe doing more shows or just creating a better presence online, because ultimately I think it's going to help him grow. But either way, I see Gucci High Waters getting very, very big in 2019. Next, we have Lil Zubin. Now, Lil Zubin is definitely known for his more emotional ballads, I would call them. He has a great voice. And I'm not talking about one of those voices that's just good enough slapped with a ton of auto-tune and it'll sound great to the masses. I'm talking about he actually has a really, really good voice. His music can be very dark and very emotional, or it can be sort of bright and happy and not so cutting deep into your heart. And I find his music to be particularly dreamy. It sort of has this very spacious vibe to it. The melodies are light and playful. There's tons of reverb on his vocals and on all of the instruments in the track, and there's just these booming 808s that make for a pretty epic listening experience. Zubin has for sure been co-signed by some bigger people in the game, but I feel like he has a lot more work to do in 2019 to really build up that solid fan base. Next we have Keiko. Now unfortunately there aren't too many female emo rap artists out there, but Keiko gives us a fresh face. She has that emo pop punk voice that we heard in bands like Evanescence and Paramore and Flyleaf that we loved 10, 15, 20 years ago. Keiko will tackle fun and dancey trap beats with bouncy drums, or she'll sing over a dark and emotional piano ballad. She makes the perfect music if you're falling in love or you're falling out of love and you're trying to forget someone. I think 2019 is going to be a very important growing year for Keiko, and I hope to see her and many other females blow up in the scene. Next we have Garden. Garden provides us with that angst that we all can relate to. The feelings that we had as teenagers when we were smoking weed and ditching class, falling in love with girls, or getting upset with our living situation and at our parents. It's that nostalgic, but in a way kind of depressing music that just really fills a void that we all need. And although some of his lyrics can be dark and depressing, for some reason when you listen to his music, it almost provides a little bit of hope, like everything's gonna be okay. He definitely leans more towards the alternative and lo-fi type of sounds rather than the heavy 808s and fun melodies. I mean, you might hear some 808s and heavy drums in his music, but for the most part it's complemented with like a nice guitar sample or more alternative sounding instruments. Or he might just switch it up and jump on his ukulele and write a little love song for you. Either way, with a couple tours coming up, I think 2019 is going to be a very, very big year for Garden, and I can't wait to see him blow up. Next we have Trevor Daniel. Now Trevor Daniel is an artist that makes heartbreak seem enticing and exciting. I think what makes Trevor different is his mainstream appeal. His music sounds like something you've heard before, but you can't exactly put your finger on it. The beats are perfectly engineered to everything that you love and what the new mainstream trap wave is. I think it's because he has some really talented producers on his side. His voice is crisp, it's clear, the songs are catchy, the melodies are fun. He makes music that's definitely gonna have you singing your heart out. And I think he's a little bit more industry connected, so he needs some more time to build up that fan base. So I think 2019, we could see something big from Trevor, and he just might be one of the leaders of the emo rap movement. Next we have Steven Moses. Steven is clearly more inspired by the hip hop side of emo rap rather than the alternative pop punk side, because on his tracks you can definitely hear him actually trying to put together a little rap. Not saying that other emo artists don't do that, but there's a couple bars in there he kind of tries to drop. He'll have songs that have a bouncy kind of plug vibe to it with some emo lyrics on it. Or he'll write an emotional ballad that allows for the listener to really feel his pain. He's very good at doing that. He hasn't put that much music out, but the little that he has in 2018, he's proven that he's a force to be reckoned with in this emo community. With more music to be released in 2019, I think Steven Moses could have a pretty big growing year. And last but not least, we have Lil Happy, Lil Sad. He's a Swedish artist that's pumping out tons of depressing music that we all need when we're feeling down. His music is very, very dark and depressing, and unfortunately, sometimes we need that to get through some of our sad times. Sometimes it can be difficult to hear a foreign artist because when they sing or when they rap, they sort of sound American-ish, but his accent allows for him to have a pretty unique cadence on his songs. I wouldn't say that Lil Happy, Lil Sad writes hits, but he does write these infectious songs that we just gravitate towards when we're feeling depressed. He released over 40 songs in 2018 just to prove that he's here to stay and he's got music to share with you guys. So if that's a representation of what 2019 is gonna be, I could see Lil Happy, Lil Sad being on yours and many other playlists in 2019. I know you're probably thinking of a million artists that didn't make the list, and trust me, I thought about almost all of them. I tried to pick people who are a little bit more popular, a little bit bigger of a following, not too focused on the very little guys in this video per se, because we're trying to think of how would Xxl think? Who's really gonna have a big year in 2019? So before you comment, just consider that. I don't think emo rap will get so big that Xxl would ever make a list separately just for them, but it would be kind of interesting if they did. And that was the point of this video. But let's be honest, they'd probably fuck it up. They would put some people on there that definitely don't belong on there. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video. Was it a good idea? Was it cool? Did I get the list right? Did I get it completely wrong? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're new, definitely subscribe if you like anything related to emo rap or underground rap in general. My name is Patrick CC, and I'm out.